It was King Abdullah Economic City, or more popularly referred to as KAEC, a Saudi Arabian city literally shaped in the desert sands to become the definition of its future. Unveiled with hopes of becoming a major economic and lifestyle epicenter, KAEC was supposed to attract millions of residents, billions of dollars in investment, and wean Saudi off its addiction to oil. But with nearly 2 decades gone past its vision, the megacity falls remarkably short of high goals, leaving empty buildings and a question mark as to Saudi Arabia's megacity aspirations. Will KAEC end up like another deserted dream, or can it rise against all odds? Back in the early 2000s, Saudi Arabia envisioned an ambitious blueprint for economic diversification. Given that the kingdom relies very heavily on oil exports, there was growing concern about the long-term sustainability of such a petroleum-based economy, and Saudi leaders started to look to a future beyond oil. The answer? A slew of sprawling megacities designed to become economic, technological, and cultural powerhouses in the Middle East. Of this grand vision, one of the flagship cities was the King Abdullah Economic City, launched in 2005, with aspirations to be a global business and lifestyle hub on the Red Sea coast. Conceived under King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz, it was to accommodate up to 2 million residents and a workforce of 1 million, all these by 2020. Nearly 20 years after that dream, KAEC is still miles away from realizing that dream. And that really puts into question the megacity project Saudi Arabia has undertaken. Planned on 388 square kilometers, KAEC was designed to incorporate a high level of urban sophistication, residential districts, business centers, state-of-the-art medical facilities, educational institutions, and an industrial zone. Both its layout and infrastructure were to be fully modern and efficient, focusing on sustainable urban planning that would meet the needs of a projected population of 2 million people. Much of the design focus for KAEC has been on business and industry. That is to say, they had plans to position KAEC as a center of job creation in industries other than oil, which would diversify the Saudi economy into a transformation model that the country should grow into. Additionally, KAEC was located on the Red Sea, approximately 100 kilometers north of Jeddah. Its proximity to Jeddah, meaning the country's largest city and port, had its downsides in terms of logistics, while a newly established deepwater port in KAEC was supposed to further solidify Saudi Arabia as a global trade hub. Whatever the billions of dollars invested to develop it, KAEC has drastically underperformed against its population targets. Initially supposed to house 2 million people, today KAEC is estimated to have a mere 100,000 residents, a mere fraction compared to what was actually planned. This gives us a peek into some natural setbacks in the way Saudi Arabia turns grandiose urban visions into lived reality. A major reason KAEC has underperformed thus far has been an inability to attract both people and businesses. Most of Saudi Arabia's population is still centered around their older cities, while Jeddah and Riyadh exerting stronger economic and cultural pulls than anywhere else in the country. Because of this, Saudi nationals and expats alike have been tough to lure to this relatively remote city, modern amenities and infrastructure notwithstanding. Similarly disappointing have been the jobs that come along with infrastructure and construction development, having anticipated the creation of 1 million jobs by 2020. Under MBS's leadership, there became a shift of interest to newer high-tech projects, such as the megacity Neom, a $500 billion venture promising futuristic technology coupled with unrivaled luxury living. The shifting priorities have placed KAEC on the back burner as far as Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 is concerned, with the government more eager to invest in Neom rather than older projects. Additionally, international incidents like the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi have impacted Saudi Arabia's image on the world stage, a factor that has made some foreign investors wary of committing to long-term projects within the kingdom. As a result, KAEC has struggled to attract the international investment needed for large-scale economic development. One of the ways KAEC hoped to generate revenue was through religious tourism, with high-speed rail lines between Mecca and Medina, two of Islam's holiest cities near Jeddah. KAEC envisioned positioning itself as a luxury stopover for Hajj and Umrah pilgrims. This would offer high-end accommodations, shopping, and leisure facilities, enhancing the pilgrimage experience conveniently. In reality, this proved more cumbersome. Pilgrims tend to travel in large, cost-effective tour groups, rather than opting for a luxury experience. To date, KAEC's high-end hotels and residences have had little success in attracting significant numbers of religious tourists. In effect, KAEC lacks the tourism segment that has once heralded as the main driver of the city's economic success. While KAEC faces an inordinate amount of challenges, there are bright spots suggesting it might still fulfill part of its mission. One of KAEC's most promising assets is its deep-water King Abdullah port. Situated on the Red Sea, this hub benefits from a navigable location, positioning it to serve as a regional trade center, potentially capitalizing on the historic sea routes connecting Africa to the Arabian Peninsula. Heavily invested, King Abdullah Port has steadily become one of Saudi Arabia's premier container ports. If it continues to expand operations, KAEC may transform into a focal point for Saudi Arabia's broader commercial ambitions, blending industrial and logistic businesses. This development would be a step below the city's original aspirations, but could provide a foundation for sustainable growth in the coming years. Another potential turning point for KAEC could be the hosting of the FIFA World Cup in Saudi Arabia in 2034. KAEC is tentatively scheduled to host a series of matches and possibly a fan zone for international visitors as part of the World Cup preparations. This event could present a rare opportunity for KAEC to showcase its infrastructure and attract international interest. In preparation for the event, KAEC has developed an upscale residential area, luxury hotels, and sports facilities to accommodate the anticipated influx of fans. If KAEC can leverage this global exposure effectively, the World Cup could become a launching pad for new residents and businesses, potentially even reviving some of its former ambitions. The case of KAEC raises questions about the feasibility of similar projects in the kingdom, like the highly publicized NEOM. While much media and financial attention has been poured into NEOM without a realistic urban planning approach, the city could easily face the same challenges as KAEC in attracting residents and economic activity over the long term. King Abdullah Economic City was a brilliant vision, now somewhat out of step with economic, social, and geopolitical realities. Whether it will eventually succeed depends on whether Saudi Arabia can create a real economic demand for it and attract a viable population.